Call the roll.
Calling the roll, Mr. Miller.
Here.
Ms. Simon.
I'm here.
Mr. Brady.
Here.
Mr. Germana.
Here.
Mr. Greenspan.
Here.
We have a quorum, and I'd like the record to reflect that Ms. Brown and Ms. Conwell are in attendance.
Okay. Has anybody signed in for comment related to the agenda?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
Okay. We have in our packets the approval of the minutes from the September 15th, 2015 meeting. It's been a little while since we've had a meeting. Do we have a motion relative to those minutes?
Motion to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from September 15th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Ayes have it, and the minutes are approved. We have one item of legislation under item 5, the major item of business for today's meeting, resolution number 2016-0002. Ms. Christina.
Resolution 2016-0002, approving an adjustment of the municipal boundary between the City of Cleveland and the City of Shaker Heights that bisects 8 parcels of land on Van Aken Boulevard at the intersection with Sutton and Onaway Roads in order to incorporate all of the land within the municipal boundary of the City of Shaker Heights.
Okay, that resolution is now before us, and I would call upon the sponsor of the resolution, Ms. Chantel Brown, to please tell us what this is and why it is needed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This resolution, as I understand, is to join the properties from City of Shaker and the City of Cleveland to adjust the boundary lines so that the property lines will go from Cleveland to the City of Shaker. And as I understand, both the councilman, who is Terrell Pruitt, Ward 1, as well as Mayor Lycan in the City of Shaker, are on board and are in complete support of this adjustment and have requested my support. And so with their request, I am asking my colleagues for their support.
Okay, thank you very much. You have in your packets copies of resolutions that were passed by both the City of Shaker Heights and the City of Cleveland by their respective councils. So they're officially in record that both communities are in support. And to give us an explanation from the perspective of Shaker Heights, we have Joyce Braverman, the Director of Planning, and Ann Clavora, also a planner from the City of Shaker Heights. If you could please come forward and make your presentation.
Thank you. I'm Joyce Braverman. This is Ann Clavora. We are both here representing Mayor Lycan, who is in Columbus today and couldn't be with us. Ann is serving as our project manager, so I'll turn it over to her for a brief explanation.
Thank you. So this is a request today for County Council to confirm a boundary adjustment between Shaker Heights and Cleveland. I believe you have a copy of the memo that we wrote in your packet, so I won't go into too much detail. But briefly, this is to support a project known as the Townhomes of Van Aken. This is a 27-unit townhome project on a site known as the Crescent site, which is approximately 2 acres, composed of 8 parcels. This property has always been vacant. It's never been developed. There's never been residents on these parcels. And although the site is owned by the City of Shaker Heights, the municipal boundary line bisects those 8 parcels. So the boundary will be adjusted to follow the existing property lines so that the entirety of each parcel is located in Shaker Heights. And what this does will eliminate administrative uncertainty. It'll eliminate duplicate permitting and approval processes, and then also simplify taxes and municipal service delivery once the property is developed. So this process is provided for in the Ohio Revised Code as long as the property is not inhabited by more than 5 voters, which is the case with this piece of property here. Both municipalities have agreed to this adjustment and approved it on December 7th in Cleveland City Council and December 21st at Shaker Heights City Council. So approval of this boundary adjustment will allow this project to go forward. We envision this as a highly visible transformational project for this intersection of Shaker Heights and Cleveland. It's right on the RTA line, so there's a lot of things going for it. It will strengthen and re-energize the neighborhood and set the stage for future improvements.
And was there any financial consideration involved in the transfer of land between the two cities?
Yeah, both cities entered into a tax sharing agreement, which Cleveland requested, in which the cities will share, City of Cleveland, or Shaker Heights will share 50% of the property taxes and 50% of the income taxes generated by this specific 27-unit project.
Are there any questions to the representatives from Shaker Heights from my colleagues, Councilperson Greenspan?
Great, thank you. So I have two questions, which may lead to more. But I understand, I get the municipal boundary. Just out of curiosity, why was the boundary not moved to follow the road? Was it Milverton Road instead of just the backs of these parcels?
Because at this point, the parcels within the city of Cleveland have occupied homes on them.
And that's where that 5.
Right.
Okay.
So there's not a process for that to happen under ORC, or at least not a relatively simple process.
Okay. And I've seen these tax sharing agreements take place. There's an agreement with 2 of my communities, but they sunset. Is this tax sharing plan this is in perpetuity?
That it is in perpetuity, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any other questions? I would like to ask Mike King if you could come forward and just explain the applicable law as to why the county council has to ratify the agreement.
Certainly. Michael King, council staff. So this boundary adjustment is being made pursuant to section 709.37 of the revised code, which, as stated, says that if there are fewer than 5 registered voters living on the parcel, you can adjust the boundary in this way. It requires both cities to pass ordinances approving it, and then it says, upon the receipt of such certified ordinances, the Board of County Commissioners, now council, shall proceed by resolution to approve such changes of boundary and to make such adjustment of funds, unpaid taxes, claims, indebtedness, and other fiscal matters as the board determines to be proper. Transcripts of the ordinances, agreements, and resolutions certified by the board shall be filed in the office of the Secretary of State and shall also be filed and recorded in the office of the county recorder. When the request initially came in, we reached out to the fiscal department, who indicated that there were no issues related to funds, unpaid taxes, claims, et cetera. And so all they really needed to do was adjust the plats. And so they've already done a lot of the back work on this. All that's really required at this point is council's approval. And then once that happens, we'll do the appropriate filings with the county recorder and the Secretary of State.
Okay, thank you very much. I did invite Councilman Pruitt from the city of Cleveland, but he was not able to make it. But the resolution passed by Cleveland City Council is in our packet, so that speaks for the city of Cleveland. Ms. Brown, can you vouch for the fact that Councilman Pruitt himself supports the action?
Yes, I can.
Okay. And the city of Shaker Heights did request that if we were to pass this under second reading suspension, that it would expedite enabling the project to move forward. So I think that we should provide that assistance. And before entertaining a motion, I would ask if there's any other questions of any kind before proceeding. I don't see any. Does someone, Ms. Brown? No. Would you like to make a motion for second reading suspension?
I would appreciate that. I'd like to make a motion to move this to second reading suspension.
And I'll second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. The ayes have it. And Resolution 2016-0002 is recommended to the full council, and it'll be on the agenda 1 week from today at the council meeting for final passage.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Ms. Brown is not on the committee to make such a motion. But I can move in her stead. Okay, so I'm,
Okay.
so does she need to withdraw that?
There's no motion
Right,
because
there's just no
that
motion.
was not a proper motion. So
What was moving into the next council meeting on second suspension? So I'll make a motion to move it to the full council, second reading under suspension.
okay, and it is seconded. And again, one more time, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed say no. And the ayes have it, and it is approved. And is there any miscellaneous business?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay. And is there anyone else who has signed in for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
I make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much, everybody, and we are concluded.